Average wasn't here, back with another video. So today I wanted to go over or do a quick video on some of my favorite large cutting tools. So from my left to my right, you have the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. This is in a custom Kydex sheath. You have the LT Wright Overland machete, and then you have the Pathfinder knife shop. This is their forest tool. So these are my favorite of all of my larger blades that I don't use all the time, but I do use regularly. For instance, the Spetsnaz shovel, the Special Forces shovel from Cold Steel. I've had this thing for, countless years, probably over a decade now. It generally rides in my truck, but sometimes I do carry it with me. It is kind of heavy, but it is virtually indestructible. They still sell them. They're still relatively inexpensive. I want to say they're around 30, 35, 40 bucks, something along those lines. I don't remember because, like I said, I bought this a long time ago. But I do use it a lot. It stays in my truck. Sometimes I will throw it on my pack and carry it with me. The other two I use quite often as well. These ones actually go on my pack. This one I've used in a bunch of videos, and this one I've used in a ton of videos also. So that's kind of just what I want to do. I want to kind of go over each one of them individually, talk a little bit about why I like them, and just kind of give my opinions on each one, how I use it, and also a little bit of specs. I'm not going to do a whole review on each one, but yeah, I'll put the link down to each one of them in the video, so that way you can, if you're really interested in them and the specs, you can go ahead and look those up. So the first one I'm going to go over is the Cold Steel Special Forces shovel. As you guys can see, this one has been loved. It's been used a metric ton, beat up. One of my favorite things about this shovel, and why it's one of my favorite large cutting tools, is because of the sharpened edge that it has around the actual shovel itself. So you can still use this for digging, trenching, all the things you would use for a normal shovel, like an e-tool or a shovel that you carry in your truck. But you can also use this to chop with. So you can use this similar to a large knife or a machete, because this has this sharpened edge. I try to keep it as sharp as possible. It's still nice and sharp. You do have to touch it up because it's not the highest quality steel. Like I said, this thing is only maybe 35, 40 bucks. On Amazon, I believe, is where the last place I looked at it. But it's durable. It is virtually indestructible. Another thing that's good about it is, if the handle ever were to break, which I have personally never seen one break, but I've heard of them breaking. If you ever broke this handle, it just takes two screws, just two Phillips head screws. You can take these screws out, carve a new handle, or buy a new handle, put the screws back in. Now it's exactly the way you had it previously. It's not like when the whole tool is made out of steel or out of another material and something happened to it, it breaks or chips. The mechanism, like for instance, the e-tool has the folding mechanism. If that were to ever break, it's pretty much done, that tool. With this one, while it is a little bit larger, more bulky and heavier, if this were to break, you can always replace it relatively easily. You can just buy a new one, or if you're out in the field, you could take the time to carve a new one. I actually have a video of me using this from several years ago, which I'll link down below also, so you guys can see it in action. I actually make a Dakota fire hole, demonstrate how to use it, how to build it, and I'm using this tool specifically in that video. So this next one is the LT Wright Overland machete. This is kind of like a smaller, more robust version of a South American style machete. So it uses 1075 steel, has an incredibly comfortable handle, has like some scallops right here. So if you wanted to hold it like this, maybe you were doing some sort of carving or something like that, you can also choke up like this to do finer tasks like maybe skinning. It has an elastic lanyard which gives you a really good grip on it when you're chopping with it. It also has a 90-degree spine, so you could strike material or even use this as like a spoke shave to shave down material. it also works in conjunction with the sheath. If you see, you have this right here, and this actually holds the tool in place so it can't come out of the sheath. I like this leather sheath design. I prefer it over the Kydex. The Kydex one is pretty awesome too, but I really do prefer this one. It can be lashed to a pack if you wanted to because of the grommet holes in it, and it's just a really excellent tool. I want to say this one is an eighth of an inch thick if I remember correctly, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Like I said, I'll go ahead and link to their website so you guys can see all the specs to this if you guys are interested. Last but certainly not least, out of all these, this is probably my favorite of the tools, the large cutting tools. This is the Pathfinder forest tool. It is more of a large blade than it is something like a machete. It's not really a machete, it's more of a really large knife. You can choke up right here for finer carving if you had to. It has a really comfortable wooden handle. I went ahead and added a lanyard to it so I could use it when I'm chopping. If you wanted to, you can choke back, choke up on it, like I said, all the way up on it for finer carving. This also has a 9-degree spine. This one I know for a fact is an eighth of an inch thick. It's just really robust. This one is actually made out of 1095, which I like. I prefer 1095 over 1075, but yeah, it's just a really excellent tool. I carry it a lot. It's not super heavy. The sheath is just a, basic bushcraft style pouch sheath. It fits the knife really well, stays in there really well. It's not going anywhere. As you can see, it's just one of my favorite tools to carry. A lot of times I'll attach this to my pack, carry it with me, and then I can use it. One thing I like about this one, because it's not as long and it's a little bit more robust, you could use this for batoning, even heavier batoning. Because of the size, you get a lot of length with the blade, and it is more robust. Alright, that's it for this video. I just kind of wanted to go over some of my favorite large cutting tools, just kind of explain to you guys why I like them so much, why I use them so frequently, like why you guys see them a lot in the video. This way you guys can also see the tools, the large cutting tools that I do use on a relatively frequent basis. You guys can actually see those, and like I said, I'll put links down below, so if you guys do want to go purchase these or see the specs on them, you can do that. I appreciate the views, the likes, the comments. Share these videos with your friends and family. Be safe, stay dangerous, and I'll catch you in the next one.